Hey, folks, my guest today is Mikael Thunberg. He is the founder of a company called Supermetrics, which gives marketers easy access to the data they need. Mikael, you ready to take us to the top?
For sure.
I was so impressed when we spoke in October in 2020 because you said, Nathan, we start off as this little extension. And then Google said, please build an app for our partnership store, our marketplace. And you resisted. And then you said yes, and revenue sort of took off. You had broken, I think, about 35 million in 2020 in AR. But I'd love before we get into the metrics to talk about product. So what are you guys today? And sort of where are you thinking about Supermetrics 2, 3 years from now in terms of product?
Yes. So we want to give all the marketers access to all the data that they need to be able to do their jobs well. And that's hands-on marketers, hands-on analysts who need to analyze all of their marketing data. Marketing data is really split up in very many different places, many different systems. So you use a lot of different advertising networks, CRMs, marketing automation tools, all kinds of different marketing technology. Very difficult to get the big picture. So we bring all of that data together for you. And what makes us special is that we don't have our own reporting UI, but we let you use whatever tool you already have in use in your organization. So we can bring the data for you into an Excel file or into Google Sheets or Google Data Studio, Power BI, Tableau, whatever you want as the destination. So we kind of support all of these destinations for the data.
Mm-hmm.
And recently, we've also added a data warehousing product. So you can also set up a marketing data warehouse very easily with Supermetrics.
Now, when we look at, just take us back. When did you launch your first app in the Google Workspace Marketplace? Do you remember the year?
That was 2014.
And that was at launch, right? That's when they launched the marketplace.
Yeah.
And so now I'm looking here, you've got 757,000 downloads through this marketplace. You're updating it constantly. I can see that the last update was actually like today because they tag it in the extension. So I assume, is this still your most powerful distribution channel in terms of where you're getting the most new signups from?
Yeah, we get a lot of signups from there. A couple of hundred every day. Same with the Google Data Studio Marketplace. So that's also a really good source for leads for us. So those would definitely be the top two.
Mm-hmm. Now, you've done all this branching into your team a little bit. What year did you hire your first sales rep with the quota?
That was 2018.
And what was revenue around that time?
Let me check.
Because that was, while you're looking that up, I mean, that was right in the range, because you told me this last time, you broke about 2.2 million in revenue in 2017. And that was 7 years basically, because you launched in 2010 where you're below 2.2 million revenue, but then you exploded after that up to 21, 22 million in 2019. So I'm curious how much of that was because of the partnerships with Google, or did you start to really hire a sales organization that helped drive a bunch of that growth?
Yeah, I don't have the monthly numbers here. I should probably look them up for me to have, talk about that level of detail. But for sure, kind of both did that. So when we launched the Google Sheets add-on 2014, started monetizing it in 2015, that really took off. Then we launched the Google Data Studio product 2017, and that was another immediate success, even more like a rapid trajectory then. And then 2018, we were on a really good growth path when we started building the sales org. And of course, that accelerated it further, but we were already doing pretty well with the product-led growth.
Oh, what's going on there, YouTube? Good to see you guys. Now imagine this. You love watching these interviews with SaaS founders, but imagine if we took all of the valuation data out from over 2,807 interviews I've done manually. Saves you a lot of time. Well, we've done this. We've built it into the beautiful interface inside of FounderPath. Check this out. I'll show you how you can access this in a second, but you log in, you connect your Stripe account, you see your valuation real time, you can see what it changed over the past 88 days, and even set goals for valuation this year. Now, the secret to valuation is there's many different ways to value a SaaS business. So the reason you're going to see 3 or 4 different valuations inside of your Founder Path dashboard, this is all free by the way, is because depending on who's doing the buying of your SaaS company, you're going to get a different valuation. A VC is going to pay a different valuation. Private equity firm is different. If you're going to do a minority sale, that's different. And if you sell the whole business, that's a different valuation. You can see all those when I hover over here. Right, so the teal is what a VC would pay, yellow is what private equity, and red is if you sold the whole thing outright. Now, what's cool about this is not built off random data. Again, you guys hear these interviews on YouTube. All these data are built from real-time valuation data points founders share with us on the show. So traction, 1.2 million, seed round, 3.7 raise, they sold 22% of their business. Go in here and filter by the event. Maybe you only want to see companies that have sold the whole business. Well, here are a bunch that have been acquired, the valuation and the multiple. Maybe you're going out right now and you're raising your seed round. Well, go in here and look at all this recent seed deals that went down, what they raised, what valuation they raised at, and what percent that they sold. There's never been a larger data set of SaaS valuations than what you can get now inside of Founder Path, and we're thrilled to bring it to you. All right, we're going to go back to the YouTube video here in a second, but if you want to check this tool out, if you want to jump in and sign up, you can check it out for free to get your valuation at this link, founderpath.com/products/valuations. Or if you go to founderpath.com and hover over products, click on get your valuation here and go ahead and sign up to give it a whirl. Again, all that valuation data live right inside the platform. I hope to see you there. All right, let's jump back into the interview. So flesh out the full team for me today. How many folks are full-time?
Around 260.
260. Okay. And how many are engineers?
That would be around 70.
70. Wow. Okay. And then I guess looping back to the sales conversation, how many sales reps do you have that carry a quota?
That's around 70 as well.
Interesting. Okay. So that team's almost doubled since the last time we spoke. So tell me about how you're doing that. That's 40 sales hires with a quota in the past 24 months. Did you get it right the first time in terms of the on-target earnings to sort of quota ratio?
Yeah, I think we've done pretty well. We hired the first salesperson I hired was an experienced sales leader from Meltwater, actually. And he's, of course, has a ton of experience and has been building the sales org with Supermetrics.
You said from Meltwater?
Yeah.
And who was that?
Martin Ilman.
So if people are looking to hire their own version of Martin, what was his title at Meltwater? Was he the head of sales, or was he a junior guy at Meltwater that he wanted to leave and join you to be the guy at Supermetrics?
No, he was the head of Meltwater in Finland, and then he was head of a product area for Meltwater in the Nordics, and for a while he was also in some role in the San Francisco office of Meltwater. I can't remember exactly what. Okay.
So 70 quota carrying reps, do they all have, when they're all ramped up, do they all have the same annual quota?
Not that exactly. I think we do have some, we have the basic kind of inbound rep quota, and then we have outbound reps who are on a different quota.
Which one's higher?
I should check that with Martin. I can't remember the details of the quotas.
Okay.
And the outbound reps are also on a quarterly cycle versus the inbound reps are on a monthly cycle. And then we just hired our strategic accounts director. So kind of a more senior salesperson who's been doing kind of higher value deals for Bloomberry. And will be kind of driving the higher ACV deals with us as well, because the vast majority of our deals are still rather low, like 10K, 15K deals. So I think there's a lot of potential in getting more of these 50K to 100K deals as well. So we hope that this person can accelerate that.
And don't obviously tell me the customer name, but your largest customer today, what's their contract value? Have you broken anyone with $1 million that pays you more than $1 million per year?
No, nothing close to that.
I got it. Okay. Do you have any at more than 100,000 per year?
No, we are very close.
Okay.
So we have some like 85K ARR, and I think we are in negotiation with some that would be over 100K. but not
So
yet
what
signed it.
clues are you learning from your big accounts already in terms of what you might be able to upsell very effectively to the base that's currently paying you lower ACVs? Is it number of seats? Is it product upsells? What's the lever you think?
Yeah, so partly it's expanding their usage of the core products, as we call them. So if they use Google Sheets, selling more seats on that. If it's Data Studio, selling more seats or more data source connectors, as that's also a pricing factor for us. But where we see a lot of good traction is going to the customers who use Google Sheets or Data Studio really heavily, and then saying, we also have a data warehousing offering. So as your data amounts are very large, you would get a lot of value if you would add a data warehouse to your kind of marketing data stack. And there we see a lot of good upsell. And of course, these clients, they often then end up having a data warehouse, but they also keep the data studio or Google Sheets product. So we can support the kind of full range there. So you can get your data still into spreadsheets very easily, into Data Studio very easily, but then you also have a robust solution with a data warehouse.
The warehouse upsell. Now, how many customers are you serving now today? All total paid.
So total would be something close to 18,000.
18,000. Okay, wow. And do you think most of your future growth over the next couple of years will come from adding new customers or really expanding aggressively in the current install base?
Of course, we are doing both, but I do see a lot of expansion potential in the current client base. So we already have a huge number of big brands, and pretty much all the major agencies are clients of ours. And many of them are currently on quite a low ACV. So I do see a lot of potential there to expand them, and we are doing that all the time. So a lot of the growth comes from ACV increase.
Yep. Now, this is sort of an unfair question because averages are not that valuable, but to keep it simple, I'll ask it. What is the average customer paying today in terms of ARPU or ACV?
So the ACV would be 2.7K.
Oh, you knew that right off the top of your head. All right. So about 3,200 US dollars at current exchange rates or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, I mean, can we take, Mikael, can we take 3,200 USD times 18,000 customers? It puts you guys right around 58 million in ARR right now.
In the USD terms, I don't have actually the number, but it's around 46 and a half in euros.
In euros. Okay, fair enough. So depending on the conversion rates each morning, it changes a little bit, but 46.5 million euros, which is great. Now, what is that in terms of growth rate over the past 12 months?
So we are seeing still rapid growth. So we are at around 50% year on year.
50?
50, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I remember last time I interviewed you, you were excited because you got your deal done. I think it was a 40 million on 400. You shared some of that was secondary, but you were also kind of bummed because you felt like you took a bit of a hit on valuation because of COVID. We're now, what are we? We're 19 months after that round. So are you about to announce a new fundraising, a new secondary to create some liquidity for early employees?
Well, of course, there's a lot of interest towards us, and discussions are ongoing. Latest today, just before this call, actually. So let's see. But of course, you know the market situation. The multiples have gone down. Maybe it's not the best time to do anything. So Let's see if we get to where we want. But it's possible. But we are, on the other hand, we are not in no hurry to do anything. So if we don't get a good number, we can just wait.
That's what I was going to ask you. So from a unit economic and P&L and balance sheet perspective, can you afford to be very patient? Are you guys profitable today?
Yes, we've been profitable throughout the company history and never used €1 of investor money in these companies. So
wow, that's very impressive. That's very impressive. Okay, so I guess what you don't have a valuation because you haven't raised since we last spoke, but what would you value the company at today?
I can't tell you because that will affect any discussions we may be having. But the last valuation I think was pretty low, considering we did the valuation at the worst possible time when COVID started, and of course we've grown a lot. The multiples have increased. So,
and just to be clear, Mikael, that was 40 on 400, right?
So, in euro terms, the valuation was 250.
In euro. Okay, got it. But a big chunk of that was secondary, you said, right?
Most of that.
Most of it was secondary. Yeah. So, and I would agree with you, by the way. So like, I think you guys traded at something like an 8 to 12x on that last round, when I'm seeing
Yeah.
companies that don't have anywhere near your performance, that even have a little lower revenue, trading at like 30, 40x here in the States. So it's just not fair. Or maybe it's just a timing thing. Who knows?
Yeah. But meanwhile, the competitors have been raising rounds with much worse numbers than we have at a pretty good multiples. So I think.
Who would you put in that bucket? Who would you say are your top three competitors?
So who we meet most often would be Funnel, a Swedish one, Adverity, Austrian.
Adverity?
Yeah.
Okay.
And well, Fivetran, you probably know, a US company, to some extent competitive as well. We don't meet them that frequently, but still.
So when are we going to hear about you raising a large round and just buying out Funnel.io and bringing the two companies together?
I'm not sure if we would want to buy them.
Interesting. Okay, shots fired. You heard it. You heard it here first.
No offense to Funnel, but they're looking at acquisition targets, but they're not on the list, to be honest.
Have you guys acquired any other companies? Is that part of your playbook moving forward? Do you have any acquisitions on the table?
So we've done a couple of very, very small acquisitions. So one man business is nothing major yet. We are looking at options. Of course, we have the balance sheet. We could do something, but we will need to see a good fit.
Yeah. And so, what would be a good fit, right? Like, how are you thinking about M&A?
So what we are mostly thinking there is we have a huge client base, a lot of very big companies, big agencies. So what could be a product that we could upsell to these clients that we already have?
Yeah, and I mean, for context, right? If this is going to be a very small number, right? But if you buy a company that you feel like your 18,000 install base, you can convert 50% of them, right, to a new $1,000 a month plan. That's $9 million a month in new revenue. So I mean, it's significant if you can do it,
Yep.
Very compelling. Okay, well, as we wrap up here, any product stuff you want to chat about in terms of where you're going? We know about the data warehouse. What's next on the roadmap?
So we are also looking at expansion beyond the marketing data. So that's quite interesting. We've developed some new technology so we can expand the data source integration side very fast. So we can do more experimentation on different types of data sources. So we have all kinds of interesting data sources coming out. For instance, we just released a Slack connector just to see like MVP to fetch Slack data, and then we see if there's traction or not. And maybe there's not, but we'll do a lot of these and then see where we get traction and then invest more.
And it sounds like customers are loving it. They're sticking. What's net dollar retention today? So
across the whole business, it's around 100.
Okay, around 100. So that's actually you told me last time you had about 12% churn, but 13% expansion. So about 100% net dollar retention. That hasn't changed much.
No.
Yeah. Okay. And is CAC still about $400, or are you willing to spend more to get a customer today?
So we are investing more.
Okay.
We hired a CMO a year ago, and definitely we are investing for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. Let's wrap up here with the famous five. Mikael, number one, favorite book.
Oh, sorry, I didn't prepare for this.
Your last one was Bad Blood.
What did I read recently?
Or tell me anything you read recently. It could have been a blog, could have been a book, a podcast.
I was reading Starship Troopers last.
There we go. Right? Starship Troopers. All right. Number two, Mikael, is there a CEO you're following or studying, or maybe someone you really respect there in the Nordics?
In the Nordics, I would say maybe Ilkka Paananen from Supercell.
Supercell CEO. Okay. Number three, what's your favorite online tool for building Supermetrics besides your own?
Well, Google Sheets is pretty obvious, I think.
Well, let me ask a more specific question there. What do you guys use in your CMO? What are you guys using in your marketing tech stack to track, key marketing metrics?
So on the marketing tech stack, so we actually have a marketing automation tool called Exponia. So that's what we use.
Yep.
Uh, yeah,
They're great. Yep. Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
around 8.
Okay, that's good. And situation, married, single, kiddos?
I'm married with 3 kids.
There, that's consistent. It's good. Both of those are consistent. Still married, still 3 kids. It's great. And Mikael, I think
Get an update on this. Okay,
yeah, I think you had 2 birthdays since we last spoke. So I think what, you're 40, 42 today or 41?
42.
42. Yeah, very good. All right, last question. Something you wish you knew when you were 20.
I wish I knew I could do it with, being an entrepreneur. I had doubts for so long.
Guys, there you have it. Supermetrics launched in 2010 as a very simple extension, then got into the Google ecosystem, rapid growth, passing 20 million in annual revenue in 2019. Now doing 43.5 million euros annually, which is obviously great. 46.5 million euros in ARR annually. That's 50% year-over-year growth. Profitable, which we love. Last round was caught, 40 million USD at around a 400 million US valuation, but I think undervalued based on others in the space. Growing nicely up there in the Nordics. Catch Mikael's chat at sassiest2020.com. It'll be April 20th, coming up in a couple of days, April 20th and 21st in Malmo, Sweden. Mikael, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thanks. It was great being here.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers. They try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.